Now we will consider Sankyo techniques. There are two ways of doing Sankyo. We will divide it into two kinds and also show applications using the Ken and Jo. This Sankyo is almost the same as the basic movement. It's done this way. Then we come here. The importance of this basic movement is that it illustrates that atemi must be used in Aikido throwing and pinning techniques. Generally speaking, people do not understand these techniques. In a real situation, as I said before, we attack his head. Then we move this way and control him. This is the movement. In a real situation, this movement becomes a strike here. As to the distance, of course, we move in close in Aikido. Rather than the fist, you often use impi or uraken, that is, reverse strikes. In the old days, it was said that one could knock down an opponent with a 10-centimeter punch. Nowadays, in the karate world, there are very few who can do that. Aikido is supposed to be able to do that too. We have gone to this point. There is barely a space of 10 centimeters. There is no room to execute a punch. But this hand moves this way. It has 10 times the distance to move. The last strike is to a place in the body that cannot be toughened up. Everything needed to fell the opponent is included in this technique. This is the way it is done in Aikido. When looking at Shomenuchi, one might wonder what on earth the technique is. The key elements happen in an instant. The opponent comes here, like this. Actually, he doesn't make contact. In this way, we can cleanly control the opponent. Without doing this, the forward-looking thinking of Aikido to the effect that we can construct a new age by uniting with and leading the opponent's power will never come into being. Aikido is trying to realize an ideal for the future. The present trend is to completely block the future. This is the direction in which present-day Japanese Budo have been moving. Victory is in felling your opponent. In our way of thinking, to fell an opponent is to lose. Man's true way of life is based on protecting the life of fellow man. The purpose of Aikido training is to examine and verify this principle with your own body. Keeping that in mind, this is the manner in which we execute the technique. With the Ken, at this point, actually here, and we enter here. Then we blend with the opponent's sword, and then move here. We have already entered when the opponent raises his sword, and then we move here. Then we blend with his Ken. Then we come here. We apply the same principle to the Jo. The movement is exactly the same. Since this is a jo, it doesn't cut. At this point, we strike his jaw, and then to the side of his head. Once again. At this point, the opponent strikes, and we lead him this way. Here we enter. Before we pin him, we must execute a strike here. Then we pin him here. That is how the technique is executed. Again, we'll show the movement with the ken and jo. First of all, I'll show the first Sankyo sword technique. This is taken from among the thrusting movements.